All right. For those of you who don't know, I'm Dr. Mawer. My background is in exercise physiology, and so I love talking about anything to do with exercise or sports performance. And that's going to be pretty much the topic today. The title of it is going to be, There Is No Off-Season. But what I tried to do was not only tailor it to our hardcore athletes and not just our occasional athletes, but also to any of you who are interested in staying fit during the winter time when you're not able to get outside. So obviously there is an off season, but the deal is it's not a time to just lay around, rest, eat chips, sit on the couch. It's a very important time actually. It's a time where you can actually gain or at least maintain what you've worked so hard for during the season. So sure, take a little bit of time to rest, but then get right back into it and see what you can do to improve for the next season. And what I've written down here is some things to think about during the off season. You know, obviously in the beginning, you want some physical recovery. Give your body some time to rest, recover, and then get back into your fitness plan. Psychological recovery. Many of you may not realize it, but the season can also be tough on you mentally. It's also time to address any physical imbalances. I can think of, I was a baseball player in high school, and I was a pitcher. And I used my right shoulder thousands and thousands of times during the year. And you could actually feel on the back of my shoulder the muscle coming out about this far compared to this side where you couldn't feel that. So during the off season is when you want to think about doing a complete workout where you can address those imbalances, make sure you're working out both sides of your body and get them a little closer to even. And then during the off season, you also want to think about maintaining and improving the following. Proprioception. Anybody have any idea what that big word is? No idea? How about you, sir? No idea? No clue? Okay.
Just making them up.
So proprioception is basically it's information that goes to your brain through your nervous system, and it gives you an idea of where parts of your body are relative to space. So if I close my eyes, I still know that my arm is out here on the right side. So that's basically what proprioception is. A lot of times it's incorporated with balance, and we'll talk a little bit about that later and things you can do during the off season or this winter to improve your balance and proprioception. Flexibility is another one, and this one is huge, not only for our athletes, but I would say for those of you who are not athletes, flexibility is probably the most important thing you can do. If you were to choose just one of those up there and you're a non-athlete, I would have you do stretching during this winter to stay in shape. And then other things you work on depending on your sport, endurance or your cardiovascular strength, your speed, and then just overall strength. So those are a list of things you can work on in the off season. And like I said before, many professional athletes consider the off season to be the most important portion of their workout routine, more important than preseason or during the season. Okay, so when is the off season? For those of you who play sports, off season starts at the end of your regular season or the playoffs, and then goes all the way up to about 6 weeks before your next season. Then that 6 weeks prior, that's your conditioning. I think that's when things get a little more hardcore. You're working out harder and harder and doing things that are more specific to your sport. So, depending on where you look, what textbooks you look in, there's basically two different phases of your off season. You have the recovery phase, so you can actually hang out in the hammock a little bit, relax a little bit. Then the next part is your preparatory phase. And here it has work, but don't let that word fool you. We're going to talk about later. You want to make it fun. You want to make the off season fun. You want to do different activities that are still going to keep you in shape. But that's the biggest thing. Have fun, change things up a little bit, but still maintain where you're at. Okay. So this is a quote I found in one of the sites I like to look on, Fitness Advisor. Maintaining 50 to 60% of your fitness takes a lot less effort than starting from scratch. Many of you in the spring and summer, you may have done a lot of work to get where you're at. Maybe you started running in 5Ks, things like that. You don't want to do nothing during the off season and then try to get back into it. I think we've all experienced that before. Maybe you got into a weightlifting program. Kind of takes time to build up and build up. Then you take 2 or 3 weeks off. You're almost back to where you started. So just at least maintain where you're at. And then I have the detraining up there. And that's basically based on the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. Muscle atrophy. If you don't use those muscles, you'll notice they're getting smaller and you're not as strong as you were prior. And the big deal is just make sure you're finding a balance between recovery and maintenance. Give your body a chance to relax, but also maintain and then even improve as the off season goes on. And it's also a great time to do cross training. If you're a member of a gym, you have access to a pool, the basketball courts, all that. Just incorporate different aspects of what I'm going to talk about here today into your workout routine. So there's that big word again, proprioception. So balance and proprioception. And that's not just for our professional log rollers. Anybody ever log rolled? Anybody here? I just wanted to meet somebody who's actually done it. I've never met. So very important. For our athletes, it's important for agility. First thing that comes to mind is our running backs in football. Kind of like that guy right there, Noah. Balance is very important. We see the moves they make on TV, quick bursts of speed. They may hop to the side and take off. Very important, balance. It's also great for rehabilitating injuries. In our office, we use this equipment over here, which I'm going to have people demonstrate here in a second. People who have knee injuries, ankle injuries, foot injuries, these things are great. I'm going to show you here in a second what I can do with them. Then just for overall performance for athletes, very, very important. And then for those of you who aren't athletes, I think we know maybe some friends or family, as we get older, sometimes the balance is something that kind of fails as we go on. So I'm going to show a few things you can do at your house to try to maintain that balance so that it's not something you have to deal with. So here we go. Here's our equipment. I'm going to have someone here. Pete, let me have you up here. This is our TheraBand pad, basically a balance pad. For those of you at home who maybe already have balance issues, you may want to stand near something, even if you don't have one of these, and just do something like this. Lift one foot off, balance, work on that, see how long you can do that. Work up, maybe 5 seconds in the beginning, then you can work your way up to 10 seconds. But if you already have balance issues, make sure someone's around you, or make sure you have something to grab onto. But first, we're going to have Pete, be careful. I don't know what happened with that hand there, but what I'm going to have you do is just put one foot on that pad, and I want you to lift your other foot off the ground, see how long you can hold that. Not too bad? Doing pretty good? Okay. Now I want you to close your, wait, hold on. Now I want you to close your eyes. Very good. Very good. You can stop. You can stop. You can stop. I'm going to take you up to the top level here now. You ready? And if anybody wants to try these after we're done, you can give them a shot. So now, as you can see, a lot more give. How are we doing there? Not too bad?
Not as good as the other one. I can do it.
Close your eyes now. Oh, so, all right. All right, thank you.
That's hard.
Good job. So, this is something you can work your way up on. Start on level ground and then work up. We have these here in the office. If you ever want to use them while you're in getting adjusted, just let us know. You can do, try it 10 seconds in the beginning, work your way up, do 3 sets each leg, and you'll notice a big improvement in your overall balance. The next thing we have on the list is a rocker board. Anybody seen something like this before? Okay. Who wants to volunteer for this one? No? Okay. Okay. What I'm going to have you do is come around this way. Okay. All right. Spread your feet open a little bit. Okay. Can you hold that? Okay. In the beginning, you just get used to it, get used to balancing it. And then what we have a lot of people do is, can you push it forward so this end goes closer to the ground? Can you hold that? Okay. Now come back to normal. Okay, very good. Now can you bring it backwards and still hold on? Hold it there. All right.
You're so cool.
And come back to the main part. There we go. Thank you. Let me help you out. All right. Good job.
Making it look easy.
Yeah.
When he comes out here this week.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give it back to you. Paint over it. So that's the rocker board. A lot of times we'll have patients do what I just showed there. You rock it forward, hold it there for 5 to 10 seconds, come back. Bend to the knees a little bit, make sure you're in that good position. Rock it backwards, hold that position. Also, both of those are great for helping improve balance and proprioception. Close those eyes if you want to. And the last thing we have on there is the wobble board. I don't have one of those to show, but I think you've seen one of those. It's basically a circle platform, and you have the ball in the middle. Rocker board goes front and back. Wobble board goes in all directions. So